When you're planning your first trip, you want to do all the things and see all the sights. In today's video, I'm going to give you some tips about how to find things to do when you're traveling. Let's get into it. With number one, you want to look into walking tours. There are a lot of free walking tours that you can sign up for the country or in the city that you are visiting. For the tour guides, they have put a lot of work into these tours to make sure that tourists are familiar with the area. They give you a food tour, a pub tour, at night tour. There's so many different ways that they can introduce their city to you. And at the end of the tour, you can give them a donation of what you feel, is best, what you have in your pockets that will help them continue to run their business. And it's a good way to support the locals. When I went to Sofia in Bulgaria, I was able to find a nice walking tour and we toured the city. I was able to meet some people actually from the States, and we went out to dinner, had some fun that evening, and it was a really nice tour. It was about a couple of hours. Some of them do this part-time and some are doing it full-time. So walking tours are a great way for you to get familiarized with the city too. If you're a wanderer like me, you just like to walk around in the morning and just take a nice stroll, you can use the app MapMe to get an offline download of the city map. I did this in Amman last year when I was staying at the hostel, but I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to go to the Citadel and of course other sites that I would have to be driven to, but right around where I was staying, I wanted to visit the Citadel. So someone at the hostel told me, hey, you can use MapMe, download the city map and just use it offline. These are ways for you to explore the city. Yes, I did this solo and I did it with friends too, but you can do it either way. And of course, using those walking tours to help you find some gems that maybe you wouldn't have noticed. Now, the second tip, you can use Get Your Guide, Viator, and Airbnb experience to help you find things to do as well. They all are affordable. Some of them might be a little more costly if it's more than one person. Me, I travel solo. With me, I would usually like to plan it once I have landed. I make sure I'm there, settled into my accommodation, and I have some idea of how I'm going to get to the site for the tour. In Bogota, I wanted to do the fruit tour. They have so many exotic fruits in Colombia. I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. I've heard about it for some time. So I went with Get Your Guide. I saw a few tours there for the times that I wanted, signed up while I was in Colombia. I did not do this beforehand, and I was able to go. It was an amazing tour. I tried over 20 types of fruits. It was very, very delicious, and it was very personalized because there were only 3 of us at that time on the tour. This was not with Get Your Guide. This was with Airbnb experience. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I did an exotic fruit tour with Airbnb experience, and it was very affordable. I was able to eat over 20 fruits, and yes, I don't go there full. You're gonna have some explosions in the back, but that might be TMI. But you want to book with Airbnb experiences, Viator, and Get Your Guide. You should be able to get you activities, things to do. They also arrange day tours or day trips where you leave your city and go see somewhere else. Like if you were in Mexico wanting to see Chichen Itza, they do offer Chichen Itza and Valladolid tours as well. So just look out for that. You can do it on the app or online. And my last tip is to support the locals by booking directly, like the ones I mentioned in step 2. Those aren't necessarily going to the locals. Those are, major well-known companies. And sometimes they do partner with the locals, but I've heard in my experience that you can book directly with them too. So when I went to hike the Great Wall in Beijing, I did not know at the time, but I had booked through a third party, some tour company I found. And then I was explaining this to the people that were at the hostel and I was with her. She was like, well, why don't you just book through us? You would have paid half the price. And I was like, I didn't know. I thought I was going to be given, the foreign price. They're like, no, this is China. A budget tip would be when you directly are negotiating or supporting the locals for a tour or activity or things to do, Depending on where you are, you can probably get a cheaper price than if you were to use those larger companies. I don't do as much adventurous activities such as parasailing or snorkeling, riding motorcycles. So maybe I'm walking down the street. One time I was in Kenya, I slammed my finger in the gate and my finger was okay. I didn't need to go to the hospital. But again, you want to have that peace of mind. I think Safetywing is one of the most affordable options out there. Now, I'm older, I aged out of the cheaper policies, but if you want to get more information, you can look in my description box below. If you're going abroad, you want to have travel insurance. And it doesn't have to be with the one that I'm recommending. I'm just saying this is what I use. The last one would be in the city that you're visiting is to go to the visitor center. They have so many tips and guides for you. If you just walk up to there and say, hey, I'm new here, what is the popping things to do? What's going on? What do you recommend? Hostels do this too. They have organized tours for the day. It's very cheap. That in your visitor center, they can give you recommendations, options. I like to ask the locals, like, where are their favorite spots to eat at? You know, where do they go at night? Like, this is what you want to do. Get that information from them. Of course, I get this from travelers in the hotels and hostels that I stay in too. But it's really good if you talk to the people at the front desk, like this is their home, this is where they are from. And of course, they're going to give you the best recommendations because they want to see that you enjoy yourself and have a great time. So again, my 3 tips are to try out a walking tour and download Map Me so you can have an offline map to help guide you as you are exploring the city on your own. You also can use Get Your Guide, Airbnb Experience, or Viator. Sign up for an activity there. And the last one, of course, is to support the locals if you can book with them directly. And you can also check out the Visitor Tourism Center where they can assist you as well. I hope you will put these tips into practice, and I'll see you in the next video.